whatever.
Princess Bride is good, but I don't consider that. It's a fairy tale. It's not fantasy.
Someone brought up Game of Thrones. I like everything about Game of Thrones until you start throwing in like White Walkers and dragons.
Oh no!
And then I sit there
awesome.
and just go, I don't know that I have time for this show anymore.
I feel like Game of Thrones.
I'm halfway through. What's the next season that's airing? 4?
4.
I'm halfway through season 3, and I can't bring myself to watch it anymore.
Why?
Because it's dragons and White Walkers, and I don't care. When it was just people fucking people and just like fighting and all this stuff, I was super into it. And then all of a sudden, it's like I am the queen of dragons.
You should keep watching.
That's what Brian and Peter and everyone keeps telling me. Yeah.
There's probably a lot less of the dragons and a lot more of the things you're describing.
I just don't. I only have like a few more episodes done.
You should probably just give it a shot.
I have not seen 1 second of that show.
It's not bad. It's
I guess I have to eat my own words because I do love that show. But to me, that's not as.
It's not fantasy until they throw in like the little. There are only like 2 fantasy scenes in season 1.
It's like
the very beginning,
hints of fantasy,
and the very end.
It is fantasy for sure, but it is a lot more based in reality than the Lord of the Rings is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the fantasy aspect didn't affect me one way or another with that show. I just got tired of people saying "fuck you" in medieval language.
I like it for all the backstabbing and conniving, and you're just like you hate every character, and then you love every character, and then you hate every character again. I like it.
Yeah,
I like Breaking Bad better.
I haven't watched like the last season.
I haven't seen.
It's the best TV
ever
that is ever.
Can you believe
been.
it? Can you believe it?
It made me feel really bad because seriously, the only show I really liked last year or whatever, I thought there were so many great episodes of Boardwalk Empire, and the fact that I wasn't hearing about them anywhere was so heartbreaking to me. It was like, I hope this did well. Did it do okay?
I don't want to spoil what happens in the show, but what Pavi132 just wrote in the chat, in the pink there.
Yeah.
That's exactly what did me in on.
Oh, really?
That happened, and I just went, oh, I don't think I care anymore.
That's season 2.
And then I toughed it out, and that's why I'm only halfway through season 3, because it's like, we're getting into Wolverine shit, where, hey, listen. When anything can happen, and you have like these almost undefeatable things, it's not like anything that I'm watching is like, I'm ready to rally behind this. I just go, well, they can't die, I guess.
I get
Wolverine can get run over by a train and lit on fire and thrown into acid, and then if one bone survives, he comes back. Well, then he's not an interesting character.
Yeah, I get the idea of with what some of the things that happen in Game of Thrones. It's like, well, you can literally do anything at this point and get away with it.
Yeah, and that's when I see that, and I just go,
hey, do you know what I realized? Sorry, I'm going to take this in another direction. Actually, no, back to Star Wars.
Okay.
The other night, Revenge of the Sith was on Spike TV, and I kept it on.
Sure.
Well, I was at my family's house visiting them. That's what it was.
Okay. I was say like through the commercials and everything.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, it was just on while I was there, and I realized I was like, it's funny because when I first saw it, I was like, oh no, that totally, great, and it wasn't until I saw it later that kind of the shine was a little off the apple. Where I mean, and let me just say, there's still a handful of scenes that are rad in that movie. But again, I've said this before. The Bat Commander from the Aquabats, we talked to him when that movie came out, and he summed it up best. He's like, "Oh yeah, there's lots of cool stuff in that movie, but it's cool like game cutscene, and not like this feels cool."
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's totally it. But anyway, so there were some parts I really like. The part genuinely that I think is a good scene in Star Wars, genuinely, is when they go to that like water opera thing, and Palpatine's just watching the show, and Anakin goes to the opera with him, and they're just talking about stuff. Do you remember that?
I don't.
They're like talking about like, yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, and it's just this droning from the show the whole time. And he's just talking about, Palpatine starts to kind of leak out like, I think I know a guy who could keep people from dying or something like that.
Remember that scene.
That part actually has.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the only scene in any of the prequels that feels like, oh, we're digging into like the Force now.
And this
is cool.
Only took you 2 3/4 movies to get there.
And that scene's 4 minutes. Yeah. But anyway, what I was gonna say, talking about what you were saying about Game of Thrones. Oh, now you can do anything. Oh, now you get whatever. What makes that movie suck when you watch it now is I think when you're younger, you're just like, oh, there's a lot of crazy shit going on, and so maybe this third one's not so bad. But I watch it now, and it's like they are wasting all these droids away. They are wasting all these droids. Oh, there's a lightsaber in every shot. They're killing blah, 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 blow this up, blow this up, blow this up. And then there's a scene where Obi-Wan is by himself. He needs to go to Utapau. We all remember the planet Utapau.
My favorite place in Star Tours.
Where he rides that lizard. Oh,
oh, fuck that.
Anyway.
You just made a lot of sounds.
Anyway, so he's on that planet sneaking up on all the droids. They're all there with Grievous. And you really see it now that you're older. You realize how much George Lucas really did give up. Because he's sneaking up above, and then he's stuck on this plank. He's just like, where do I go? And he looks down, and it's a million droids and Grievous all down there. And you're like, how's he going to get out of this and not get caught? And what does he do? He looks at all of them and jumps into the middle of them. Hello there! And then he fights them all. There's no tension whatsoever. He jumps down and wastes them all.
Yeah. So you can do anything.
That never occurred to me until I watched it the other night. I was like, he really just quit here.
There's no stakes.
Yeah, how am I going to write this
again,
out?
there are no stakes. And that's what I'm talking about with the Wolverine thing.
Yeah.
There are no stakes. He cannot die. He's had adamantium ripped out of his body. He's been lit on fire.
Comic,
he's
assuming,
been
right?
what?
This is in the comic.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
he's been ripped in half and thrown in two different directions across the world. There's no stakes because you know he doesn't. He's Wolverine. He's just going to keep going.
Yep.
Comics. I don't read comics anymore because of that. Everyone dies, then everyone comes back. So what are the stakes that you're dealing with?
Right.
Who gives a shit? If everyone gets second and third and fourth and
nothing's
fifth
final.
chances, nothing's final, and that's why I don't care.
Can you imagine if they really... Superman died in one of the comics, right?
Yeah, in the 90s.
Can you imagine if he just never, ever came back? He was still dead. How rad would that be?
How awesome would that be?
That'd
But
be
then
so
that
rad.
was a thing a couple years ago. Captain America died. But it was like on the news. And I remember talking to Brian and going, well, okay, so either he's dead and he comes back, it's not Captain America, it's like a body double, Scarlet Witch did some kind of hex and it's not really him, the bullet was like a paralysis thing and so it only appeared that he was dead, and it was like one of those things. And it's like, who cares? Who gives a shit? Who cares?
I don't know.
But what you were saying about CG, like a cool video game cutscene, that is my complaint with the new Spider-Man trailer and that Amazing Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
What a fucking cool PlayStation game that is.
I can't avoid those things hard enough. It's not just that. It has become every Marvel movie now. I just turn the other way.
Yep.
I don't even care to watch the preview. I do not care
at
all. And you know what? I get that I am in the vast minority, but that's okay. I just have no
Well, that's all right,
interest.
because the majority was the minority for such a long time, and now they're vocal, and it's awful.
Which, I mean,
Hey,
but my
nerds.
dad never gave a shit. My dad's not, well, he is about some things, but he's not really like a nerd who read comics or anything. He fucking eats these up. He loves them.
My dad does too.
And you know,
Really?
but your dad was even more into comics, I think. I don't know if
My dad's getting actually. My dad's not kind of burned on the Marvel stuff.
but my dad has never read a comic book in his life and loves the movies,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I mean, that's whatever you're into. But it's just like I just can't. I just don't care.
Yeah.
What I get excited for now, what that is for me now, what I used to get excited for, like on the level of comic book movies, for me now is just original sci-fi movies.
Yep.
Like,
Interstellar
like
and
Interstellar. Holy shit, I will be there.
Oh, is there a
next year.
preview for that?
There is, and you'll love it because
It's a teaser that doesn't make any sense, and you go,
hey,
what
because
the
it's only old NASA footage.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
Do you know what that movie's about?
No.
I mean, there
I know
isn't a
nothing.
plot detail out, but it's Christopher Nolan is all he said is it's about man's discovery of wormholes and time and space.
Essentially,
Okay.
the trailer is Matthew McConaughey talking about how we were like, man was like discovering all this stuff, and we had like so much like ingenuity, and we were so curious, and then the curiosity kind of goes away, and it shows like the last like NASA shuttle like landing and everything, and you just go, oh fuck. But then it kind of like leads to what this movie's about, and it looks. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan, so I doubt it's going to be bad.
yeah.
But
I think it's
Awesome.
gonna stink.
Cannot wait.
it stinks.
Huh.
Well, I mean, Heath Ledger bailed on Dark Knight.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yep.
He was like, dude, this movie sucks.
He sucked
were
a
pills.
dick upside down.
That'll do it.
Wow.
No, those were pills.
Oh,
I get it.
I still
We
think
were
he sucked a
watching
dick.